people have died after a fire razed part of Nairobi's Gikomba Market on Sunday morning. The cause of the 4 a.m. blaze is yet to be established, with authorities launching investigations into the incident. The Kenya Red Cross Society says 4 firefighters are among those receiving treatment after responding to the scene. Preliminary assessment by the Nairobi County government indicates that a large section of the market was destroyed, leaving traders with significant losses. Affected traders who spoke to the Eastleigh Voice have called on the county government to urgently address the recurring fires, saying the incidents continue to disrupt livelihoods and undermine economic recovery.
Ilianzia saa 9 ya usiku na kumechomeka mali mingi sana. Tumehusunika sana, hata especially akina Bodeni tumepoteza manyumba, tumepoteza mabiashara. Watu wengi biashara ikaondoka kwa mapesa mangapi. Tumechomekewa. Ile kitu tunaweza omba, walijenga ofisi pale ni ya zimamoto. Hiyo ofisi haijafunguliwa. Tunaomba mheshimiwa atutetee hiyo ofisi ikuje, kwa maana kama kungekuwa na magari hapo zikiwa na maji tungesaidika.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has warned that the government will take firm action against individuals involved in hooliganism and destruction of property. Speaking during an interdenominational prayer service at 𝐬𝐴𝐬𝐬𝐿, 𝐍𝐢𝐬𝐴 County, Kindiki said the constitution protects both the right to peaceful protest and the rights of citizens, business and public property. He cautioned against any disorder ahead of the planned Thursday commemorations of the Gen Z protest, saying the state will not tolerate lawlessness. Kindiki also accused sections of the opposition of spreading misinformation about the finance bill, alleging deliberate misinterpretation to incite the public. Local leaders including Nandi Governor Stephen Sang and Uasin Gishu Senator Jackson Mandago supported his remarks and called for unity and respect for property.
Wale ambao walikuwa na maneno ya uvumi na maneno ya uongo wameandikwa peupe ya kwamba hakuna vipengele ambavyo vimewekwa pale ili kuleta ushuru mpya ambao haukuwapo, na hakuna nyongeza ya ushuru mpya. Na wale ambao walikuwa na hiyo maneno ya uchochezi ya uongo wameandikwa kule bungeni, kwa sababu wameambiwa waonyeshe ni vipengele gani ambavyo vimeleta ushuru mpya ama ambavyo vimeongeza ushuru ambao kuwamo.
On the same breath, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has urged those planning demonstrations this week to act responsibly and respect the rights of other citizens. Speaking during a Sunday service at AIC Langata in Nairobi, Murkomen said protest must remain peaceful and should not disrupt schooling, damage properties, or interfere with livelihoods. He also commended the church for its role in promoting peace, unity, and guiding young people.
If you have to enjoy your Article 37 right this week, do it peacefully, respecting the right of our children to go to school, respecting the right of people to hold their property, respecting the lives of others. And I'm saying this with utmost humility, because most of us who are leaders, who are saying let's go to protest, who are saying schools will be closed, children will go to school. Our children are either studying abroad, some of us have become grandparents, so our children are, your grandchildren are never in the street. Sometimes you are not even the one who is coming to the street. We are driving the children of other people. We are using them for political gain at the expense of their personal lives.
Away from that, the National Biosafety Authority (NBA) says public awareness is key to helping Kenyans understand genetically modified organisms (GMO) and their role in food security. Speaking during a corporate social responsibility visit to Isiolo School for the Deaf, NBA Director of Legal Services Moses Sunday said sensitization is needed to address misconceptions and prepare the country for future food demands. He noted that while GMO products are not yet in the Kenyan market, the country may eventually adopt the technology due to rising population pressure and climate-related challenges. Sunday added that drought-resistant varieties of crops such as cotton, maize, and Irish potatoes have already undergone trials locally and are awaiting regulatory approval. He said climate change, crop diseases, and livestock challenges are increasing the need for resilient agricultural technologies.
Mahindi ambayo iko tayari kuwekwa kwa soko, lakini bado kidogo maneno ya sheria na koti zinaendelea, zikiisha itakuwa hapo kwenye soko. Kuna viazi Irish potatoes ambazo pia zinaendelea na bidhaa zingine mingi ambazo tunaangalia kwamba zitanufaisha Wakenya namna gani.
In West Pokot, teachers' unions in the county are calling for affirmative action to address staffing and resource gaps. NAT West Pokot Executive Secretary Dorcas Lotome urged the government to fast-track the deployment of more teachers, citing persistent shortages and unfavorable teacher-student ratio. She also said improved security in border areas has increased school enrollment, requiring additional support for learning institutions. Lotome further called on the Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) to release pending invigilation allowances, saying delays are affecting morale. Meanwhile, KUPPET West Pokot official Alfred Kamunto called for increased funding for border schools including Akulo, Kanyerus, Kanyarkwat and Chesogong following improved security in the region.
So many issues affecting teachers in West Pokot, especially here in Chesegon. Most of our primary schools are understaffed. There's a very high rate of understaffing, and this one at some point can even cause children or learners to drop out of school because the teacher-learner ratio is low. I'm appealing to the government to look at this matter alongside the insecurity issues.
When he came to this place, he promised that he will give 5 million to every border school, and it is very unfortunate up to this time, 6 months down the line, those money have not been brought to those schools. We have schools like Akulo, Kanyeris, Kamele, among others.
And leaders in Tana River County have urged residents to reject ethnic-based politics and support leadership focused on development. Speaking in 𝐄𝐚𝐬𝐿 village, Senator Danson Mungatana called for the election of leaders with clear development agendas aimed at improving livelihoods. Tana River County Assembly Speaker Osman Galole also urged residents to avoid divisive politics, saying unity remains key to the country's stability and growth. And that's it from the Eastleigh Voice News Desk. I'm Zainab Said.